Now finally what we're going to do is play the scale. We want to start from the top down. We don't want to go to the upper octave, just the lower octave, C sharp down to D. And this is the easiest way that I find to play. Some people will be able to do this real quick. Some people will absolutely take weeks to do this. That is totally okay. So starting from C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D. Now the E and D are the hardest ones to kind of pull off in this whole scale on a simple system flute. So you can see that we just did 7 notes. So that means that we have about a total of 14 notes. And I find that focusing on these 14 notes really helps you hone in your musical ability to stay focused as opposed to playing just anything and everything on a fretboard per se. And now we're going to go up into the upper octave. I'm going to work from the bottom, and then we're going to tighten the embouchure at the C sharp and get into the upper octave. To play the low D, you have to cover up the entirety of the tone holes. But whenever you're playing the upper octave, you actually lift the left hand pointer finger, and that will get kind of a truer tone out of it. So that's an easy way to get up into the upper octave, is to play the low D and lift up your left pointer finger. It won't let you play the lower D at that point. You have to play the upper octave, so it's a good way to kind of kick you into the upper octave. And now we're going to go up from there. This requires no special movements until you get to the 3rd octave D. So you could place down all of your fingers again with your left pointer finger over the B tone hole lifted up, or you can let go of your entire right hand and just have your middle and ring finger down the A tone hole finger and the G tone hole finger. Just depends on which one matches your tuner best or your embouchure best. Now there is something special that people add into traditional Irish tunes. A lot of traditional Irish tunes will actually add in a C natural. And this in particular can be used in a few different ways. So one of the ways is so C sharp, C natural. You're just kind of rolling your finger slightly off of the B tone hole. It will give you that C natural note to a degree. Sometimes that's a lot of fun to slide or roll off of something in order to go up to the next note. It'll add a little bit of flair to it, a little bit of emotion. You can of course always bend a note by dipping your head down into it. Another way that you can play the C natural, which is how most people play on traditional Irish tunes, is to place 2 fingers below the B tone hole, just like as if you were playing the high D, but nothing placed down on your right hand. And some people say that that's a little bit off, maybe a little bit sharp or flat or so on. So some people play with their right hand, middle finger up, but the rest of them down. Some people do that. Sometimes it works a little bit better for them, and if they pay more attention to actually being in tune or not. But a lot of the times when it comes to traditional Irish tunes, you don't have a lot of time to notice if something's slightly sharp or slightly flat. Another way that you can practice going from the low embouchure to the high embouchure is to actually play from low to high on each note as you go up the scale. An example being a good way to practice as well is not to tongue it, or to glottal stop it or use the back of your tongue or anything like that to actually just blow, release air, and let it go.